Life for All presents Daily Food series, The Word of Life, The Fellowship of Life, and Living Stones for the Edification. The Epistles of John and Peter. Book 7. Hastening the Coming of the Day of God by Pedro. Week 1. God's Judgment on the Ungodly. Tuesday. The warning about false teachers. Read with prayer. Flee also youthful lusts, but pursue righteousness, faith, love, peace with those who call on the name of the Lord out of a pure heart. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22. We thank the Lord for favoring us with the prophetic word in these past years. His servant, Dong Lang, was used for over 40 years, and a solid foundation was laid among us during his ministry. After his departure to be with the Lord, the Spirit continues to speak to us and has confirmed the word with supernatural signs and events. In 2020, we received a prophetic word based on Psalms 110:3, in which we were given the promise that God would put all enemies under the feet of Christ. To this end, God promised His Son that the church, having been awakened, would answer the call to fight for the kingdom of Christ in these end times. In addition, there was an extra help. The Lord would raise up an army of holy youth who would fall from heaven like drops of dew. That year, this had not yet happened, but it did not take long to come to pass. In the years 2021 and 2022, signs of the fulfillment of this prophecy began to appear. We noticed that when the adult brothers and sisters went out into the streets to preach the gospel by asking, "May I pray for you?" the children and the preteens who accompanied them began to gain a special appreciation for evangelizing. They spontaneously prayed for people together with their parents and guardians. This was a sign that the Lord was doing something to fulfill His promise. In 2023, this became more evident and concrete as the Lord changed the situation of many teenagers who were usually apathetic and indifferent. They began to love the word of the Lord with simplicity and, without a questioning attitude, believed that the prophetic word comes from the Lord. They applied themselves earnestly to listening to the messages, making transcriptions and notes, ruminating the word, and sleeping and waking up with God. Since then, the Lord has greatly blessed the new generation. This is just one example of the word being confirmed among us. In addition, the various tools used to preach the gospel of the kingdom have been strengthened. Dynamic colporting, GPC, Book Expo, and immersion in the prophetic word. In short, many other things that have happened prove that the word accomplishes God's work. The prophetic word has been confirmed by events because it has in fact been fulfilled, giving us peace of mind and assurance that we are on the right path. We just need to proceed with a simple and humble heart to love the word and believe it. Nevertheless, we must not ignore the warning that the Apostle Peter gives about false teachers and false prophets who secretly bring in destructive heresies among the brothers and sisters. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. Secretly bringing in is the same as bringing in by smuggling, clandestinely, underhandedly. False teachers insert deceptive teachings mixed with the true ones, using the truth only in part to cover up the adulterated teaching. It is like putting poison inside a piece of candy. Thus, They deceive the unwary and unprepared saints. In the same sense as secretly bringing in, Paul uses creep in when he wrote to Timothy, mentioning precisely false teachers. Such people with apparent spirituality and godliness taught the brothers and sisters, but they had no power of life, and absolutely nothing came of their beautiful preaching. For of this sort are those who creep into households and make captives of gullible women loaded down with sins, led away by various lusts, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 6 and 7. The false teachers look for dissatisfied people who usually have hidden problems in their hearts and are easy prey. Therefore, dear reader, do not be an easy prey. Seek the word to be solid in faith. Take the Christian life seriously. Allow the faith, which is Christ, God Himself, to be worked and brought into our subjective faith. If within you there is the content that comes from the word that is true, you will be constituted of the truth of God and will never stumble or fall into the talks of false teachers. To do this, you need to follow the prophetic word closely, together with those who, out of a pure heart, call on the name of the Lord. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22.